it works. It ultimately does. And you can say, oh yeah, you're just a testimonial. No, at the end of the day, I'm a living, breathing proof that this stuff works. And look at all those testimonials because they're all absolutely true. You know, you're always skeptical when you hear social proof and testimonials and things like that. But I'm telling you, to grow your business, you have to have systems in place and you need people to keep you accountable. And that's what MPE does. So invest your time, your money, and your efforts into MPE, into their systems, because they're proven. Because I'm living proof that it works. My background in the industry actually started in undergraduate when I was an athletic trainer. I became a certified athletic trainer. I went to school at Case Western Reserve University here in Cleveland, Ohio. And after I graduated from Case Western Reserve, I became a certified athletic trainer and a certified strength conditioning specialist through the NSCA. I did that for about 4 years, and at that point, I knew that that's not where I wanted my career to be. It was either go back to school and become a physical therapist or try something else. So what I did is actually went back to Case Western Reserve, where I went to undergraduate, and became the assistant athletic trainer there. When I worked in physical therapy, I worked with somebody named Josh Trentini. And Josh Trentini is actually my business partner and actually the founder of Overload Fitness. Josh and I worked for the physical therapy unit for 4 years together. After I left and went to Case, he actually left the company and started this company that we know now, Overload Fitness, with 3 of his former previous PT clients. And started the business from there. 3 people, 3 pieces of equipment, and out of his home, out of his dining room actually. He grew the business over the next 3.5 years, and ultimately grew it to a one-man show where he was seeing about 90 sessions a week. Josh and I had always stayed in contact, always knew that we wanted to develop a business and become a legit business. So when I moved on from Case Western Reserve and got my master's, it was time for me to move on. So I told Josh, let's start this company. As Josh and I grew the business, we had a client of ours who had successful businesses all over the scope of different industries. And he trained with us, got tremendous results, lost a ton of weight. He'd never exercised before in his life. He was severely overweight. Started training with Josh actually out of his house, and then when we opened up the business in Beechwood, he saw this as a good business model. So he had approached us and wanted to know if we wanted to expand, and absolutely we did. So we took the client on as an investment group and became business partners. Over the next year period of time, we put a lot of time, effort, and money into the business and tried to scale it. That's when we opened up the second facility here in Westlake, Ohio. And over that year of time, we found that marketing our niche business was a lot harder than we thought. You couldn't rely on traditional cable television, print ads, things like that. We put a lot of time and money into it, and there was no return on the investment. So at that time, our investment group realized that this wasn't going to be a grand slam and scalable thing like they thought it would be, so they decided to pull out. And at that time, we had no money in the bank account because everything was put into the business and spent on advertising marketing. So we basically started from day one with 0, which was, to be honest with you, the scariest day of my life. But my business partner, Josh, said, look, this is the best opportunity for us. Good thing he had a clear head that day because I didn't. I panicked. I was scared. Didn't know when our next client was coming from. We'd always built our business on referrals, and obviously marketing didn't work. And we had all this overhead with our trainers and our facility and our staff and everything like that. So it truly was a scary time. And that's when I found MPE. I found MPE actually by mistake. Actually, I got a mailing in my facility from a Fitness Together, and it was the icing the cake sequence from Eric Ruth. So in there, I saw a tagline, which Maximum Fitness, Minimum Time, which is our tagline, and it's trademarked, by the way, Eric. So I approached the fitness business, or Fitness Together owner, because I didn't know Eric Ruth or MPE, and I went over there and introduced myself and asked them about their letter, and I received it in the mail and told them they could save their stamps. They don't have to send it to me. Very nice, and she said, oh, our advertising marketing goes through corporate, and Eric Ruth wrote the letter. So I said, all right. So I immediately came back to my office, Googled Eric Ruth, popped up Eric, popped up MPE. I immediately opted in for Gold Plus at that point, which was a couple free reports, some systems, some tools, monthly newsletter, and things like that. And within a month's time, then I upgraded my membership. First thing I did was auto closer. I got into auto closer because when you bring people in, if it's referrals, leads, whatever it is, you got to be able to close them right. And our close rate has always been good, but it really just put a system in place so that it was turnkey. I no longer had, I want to think it over. My close rate increased significantly company-wide, but also our ticket sales increased. We went from selling small packages to very large packages, and at that time, we needed the cash. So I said, all right, MPs weren't good, so I went through auto closer. After I went through auto closer, then I was hooked. As some people may say, I drank the Kool-Aid. I bought everything and anything they offered. I went from auto closer, then I went into duplicator. I went into deep core. I went into commander. I bought every coaching class that they had available because I saw the value in it, and it took me from that day when the investment group pulled out to being scared shitless to have a peace of mind and a plan in place. Now I know that I need systems in place to really grow the business. And that's really what it gave me, was complete peace of mind, knowing that I had somebody that I could network with, that I could be held accountable to, which was Sean and his group. I could mastermind with all the other members in MPE too as well. So that first year I kind of just laid low. I really didn't go on the forums or anything like that through MPE. I just kind of worked on the business. I was still working in the business too, but I worked a lot more on the business at that point, which is one thing that Sean taught me a valuable lesson in. And then Mega Training came in 2008. The first time they had Mega Training, I went there and I was like a kid on the JV bench because I saw all these platinum members and VIP members, and I wanted a part of that. I wanted to be successful, and I saw all these success stories from these guys. And I thought, I need to surround myself with like-minded people. And that's what I wanted to do. So I kind of invited myself into the VIP's table and sat with them and talked with them and asked as many questions as I could, and just was like a sponge that whole weekend at Mega Training. I mean, my head was spinning that night. I went back to my hotel room. I called Josh, my business partner, and said, we have so much work to do. I mean, I stayed up hours that weekend just typing on my computer, putting together a plan. On the way home on the plane, putting together a plan to really launch it into that next year going forward. And it was that moment after Mega Training that we really took off with our business and really automated a lot of things in our business and systems and things like that. And since then, we haven't looked back. I mean, we've grown significantly. Last year in the recession, we grew 43%, and in this economy, I think that's not too bad. When I started with MPE back in January of 2008, our gross income at the end of that year was around $450,000. A year later, it was up to $666,000. And last year, at the end of 2009, we closed the books at $990,000, so just shy of $1 million. And we're already forecasting to exceed the $1 million mark already in the first quarter with revenues compared to last year, working with the systems for MPE in our business. In 2008, Mega Training. I knew I had to be there because I've been about a year just kind of buying the systems and implementing them. But I saw the people on the masterminds and forums, and this was their first Mega Training, so I knew it was the place to be because I wanted to be involved with all these top-level people. So when I got there, I met Tony Maslin and all these other people that were in the Platinum group at the time, and so I kind of infiltrated their little camp and just was like a sponge, man, just kind of listening and taking back and taking notes. And then when they did the presentations for Member of the Year, I was like, that's my ultimate goal. At the end of the next year, I have to be here 1 year from today, because I knew if I got on that stage, then I did a lot of good things right. I took all the systems and everything that I invested in over that weekend and really just put nose to the grindstone and just did it.
First runner-up, put your hands together for Jeff T.
Jeff T.
First runner-up, got second place, which is okay. Worked out all right, but I'll take second to Tony any day. He well deserved it. And so it was great because my second place was consulting day with Sean, and we got some good things going on. So I'm fortunate for it. Sky's the limit. Be back there next year and take first prize then. So. The other thing that had changed once I started MPE and started to grow the business and really truly working on the business is my schedule. Through the Commander course, they teach you to block out time. Well, what I did is we had the Commander courses, they were every Wednesday, and I had time blocked out for those webinars and for those calls, and after the course, I kept that time blocked out. The amazing thing is that it worked where my work schedule, when I started getting clients off my schedule and working on it, that I didn't have to be in the office. So now I can truly spend every Wednesday at home with my 3 little girls who mean everything to me. And I can work from home and I can do the webinars and I can do things, but I spend quality time with them. And the business runs itself. So these are my girls. This is Chloe. You say hi. Say hi to the camera. How old are you? How old are you? 4. 4. This is Emma. Emma, say hi. Or not. How old are you, Emma? Emma's 6. She's in kindergarten. She's our shy one. And this is Paige. Paige is 13 months.
Say hi, Paige.
Say hi.
Say hi.
Say hi. No? Say hi. Last year when Paige was born, she was actually 5 weeks early. And I was in the middle of taking or at the very end of the Commander class, which is all about time management and, blocking out your schedule and things like that. So Jody called me and said I'm in labor and get to the hospital. So I dropped my business and left. And since Paige was early, they put her in the ICU for about 5 weeks. And so I left my business that week and never skipped a beat because everything was in place and things were good. So every Wednesday I work from home. I can spend quality time with my kids. My goal on every Wednesday is one project, is to get one thing done. That way I can get it done. I get up early in the morning before the kids get up or once they get to school or whatever it is, and I get that done, and then I have the rest of the day to spend with my kids and enjoy that time. I don't work weekends anymore. When we got into this, I was working 60, 70 hours a week. Now don't get me wrong, the business is always on the top of your mind, but you need the balance. And that's the other thing that MP has helped me with is the balance with life, is to separate business and personal life. And that's the thing, as a business owner, you're driven because at the end of the day, you got to pay your bills. But you have your family there too as well. And again, if you don't put effort, equal balance, then the scale is going to weigh back and forth. And you need that balance in your life. And that's one thing that MP has taught me throughout my life and throughout the past couple of years, is really put tremendous value in balancing out business and life, because you have to drive those. So now I look at the focus is not what does my business require first, is what does my family require first. Their priority, obviously, number one. So I make those commitments first. I see what my schedule is with my kids and their daycare or their events or whatever it is, or parties or social events, and then I plan my business stuff around that. Don't get me wrong, I work my ass off in my business. I still work a lot of hours a week, but I love it. But I have balance now, and I didn't have that in the past. When I started the company, it was just always go, 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 go. Where's the next bill coming from? How am I going to make it? How am I going to pay it? And, how am I going to survive this month? Now that's not the case. Advice I would give to anybody that's new to the MPE or just checking it out and kind of seeing you're on the fence, not really sure if this works or all this. You hear all these tremendous stories because they have a lot of them. I mean, tons of them, because they're good at utilizing social proof and leveraging it. Here's what I would say: it works. It ultimately does. And you can say, "Oh yeah, you're just a testimonial." No, at the end of the day, I'm a living, breathing proof that this stuff works. And look at all those testimonials because they're all absolutely true. You're always skeptical when you hear social proof and testimonials and things like that. But I'm telling you, to grow your business, you have to have systems in place, and you need people to keep you accountable. And that's what MPE does. So invest your time, your money, and your efforts into MPE, into their systems, because they're proven. Because I'm living proof that it works.